Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Fridays with Keenan's Cutting Edge. My name is Jenna Labor, and I am your host while we explore the dynamic world of Don Keenan's trial philosophy, The Cutting Edge. Those of you joining us live this afternoon have the opportunity to interact with our speaker, ask questions, make comments. If you have a question or a comment, please type it into the comment section below the video, and we will be sure to address it. Episodes are released each week following the live broadcast. So if there's somebody you want to share this with, be sure to share with them next week. Also, hit the subscribe button and click the alerts icon so you don't miss an episode. Today, we have Matt Powell back with us to talk about a new app that is in the works that will involve jury selection, jury tracking, jury data collection. I don't know, something about juries and picking them and using technology to do it better. As you all know by now, Matt is a practicing attorney as well as KTI faculty. We'll put his contact information in the description box below so that you can reach out to him directly with any questions you have about these wonderful apps that KTI is producing and that Matt is developing. And so, Matt, I'm going to turn it over to you. Tell us about this new app and how we can possibly get our hands on it to help with our trials.
Thank you very much, Jenna. I got to tell you, it's exciting that I've been working on this app for a while, and I've learned after picking well over 90 jury trials that it's the most important part of your case. And, you know, you typically have like a written seating chart, and then you got yellow pads and sticky notes, and the amount of information that's coming at you is typically overwhelming. I will confess, I have never, ever picked a jury by myself. I don't know how anyone can, but I've always had an assistant, someone who would help me take notes, be a spotter. And, you know, after picking a lot of juries and doing things differently, I said, there's got to be a better way that we could put this on a computer. And so there are a couple apps out there, and I tried them, and there's some, you know, that gave me some really good tips, and I used them for a while, but then the company just like went out of business. And like, if you updated your Apple software, then you couldn't even use the app. So I'm like, gosh, I need to make my own. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to share with you guys is the app that I've created so far. And, you know, tell me what you think. I am the only person who has used it so far. There's probably going to be tons of great questions, and the answers to most of them, I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm working on it. You know? So,
are you taking suggestions if people have questions or want to, I guess, to do certain things?
So what I'd like people to do is kind of watch, bear with me. It's in the alpha phase, which means there's hiccups and problems as we go. And I'm going to just sort of walk you through what it does. And let me share my screen and we'll just start looking at it.
Sounds good.
And the way this works is you need to use an iPad. And most iPads are able to use this.
And for those of you out there who are PC users, I'm a PC user as well, but definitely for trial. And in fact, my tablet of preference is a Surface, but at trial, you can learn how to use an iPad fairly easily. And things like Trial Pad and the transcript pad and whatnot are better on that iPad. So pick one up, fiddle around with it, and, you know, might as well learn how to use it. It has good options.
Thank you. That's right. I think you can see my screen now, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So here's the Keenan Case Presentation System. But what we have here is called Honey Juror. And these are some cases that I've worked on. I'm going to jump kind of ahead so you see where we're going, and it will help make some sense. So I've got this case, and I picked, when you set up your first one, you can say it's a criminal case or a civil case. You can say which party you represent. And then whoever signs up as the administrator, and your iPad and your email are kind of connected together, but your support staff can use different iPads and you allow them to connect and collaborate with you.
Great. Okay.
So the idea is that the trial lawyer who's in presentation mode, I'm going to jump ahead and show you what we're going to do. They can see the jury panel, and we've created avatars for each juror. And so, and I'm going to show you how we set it up. But the point is, the lawyer's kind of looking at this most of the time, but the spotters are going to go into the specific page and they're going to take notes for you. And when you're up there presenting, you're not going to be able to read the notes, but you're going to ask questions. And we'll get into that. Let me just show you now how to set it up.
So does the avatar, it looks like it can reflect the racial, gender, whatever makeup of your jury?
Yes, exactly. And let me jump to that page right here. So here we have the jurors, and I'm going to hit create new juror. And I don't know what seat number we're on. I'm going to let me go into a different case because there's some empty seats in it. Okay. So here we're going to add a new juror, number 3. And I'm going to put them in seat 3. And this is the clerk's number. It doesn't really matter, but you're going to put their name in, okay? And then you put the year that they're born. And so if they say, well, I was born in 1956, notice the little avatar here changes to an older person.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I like that.
Yeah. And if you put, I don't know where the numbers are when it changes, but it changes based upon the age. Okay. And if they're female, then it gives you the female avatar. Okay. And then we have a Black, an Asian, a Hispanic, an Indian.
Okay.
And then you put in their occupation, and then they're saved and they're right there on your list. And so what happens is when the clerk gives you the 30 or 40 or however many jurors you have, you start entering this information and you can divide it up and your spotters can each do, a stack of them. And at the end, they'll all be ready.
Okay.
And then the seat chart, this is an example of the largest courtroom that we have in Tampa has 132 seats. You could put probably 300 seats in here if you needed to for a really large trial.
Would there ever be, well, I guess this is only the case in Zoom trials, which a lot of people are getting away from now, but we used to take a screenshot. I don't know if there would be an option to cut and paste the actual picture of the juror.
Yeah, that's something that I hadn't even thought of, and that would be kind of cool if you could do that.
Yeah, I don't know that you always would be able to do that during trial. It'd be kind of awkward, but maybe secretly you could get someone to take a quick picture. I don't know, just something that came to mind as we're talking about.
Yeah. So the easier, the less thinking that the presenting lawyer has to do, the more rapport he can build.
Yes.
Or she, and you just really want to be one with the panel. And I tell people, when you're picking a jury, you shouldn't hold a pen or a pencil in your hand. It's okay to hold a seating chart so that you know people's names. This is going to replace your seating chart because you're going to be able to see who's sitting where pretty easily. And albeit it's their avatars,
Mm-hmm.
but it gives you a good idea. And then you may say, well, why are the colors different? And you can change the color to suit your like kind of codes or your needs.
Oh, like, okay, strike this one or ask more questions or get in. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you can, as long as your team's all on the same page. And so that's kind of a cool feature that I like about it.
Yeah.
So you pick civil or criminal trial, you pick which party you represent. Whoever installs it the first time is going to be the administrator. And what we have here is colors, and you can pick a color for each user. And the reason for that is as your spotters are sending information, their text will be in the color that you assign to them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it helps you identify who said what.
Yeah.
You may have some very experienced spotters and some less experienced, and you might put greater weight on somebody. I don't know. But that way, you know who wrote what. You put the case name in, the judge, the day of trial. Now, the courtroom name, the reason we have that is most of us try cases in the same courtroom over and over. And so once you set up the seating chart for that courtroom, you can call it back up and you don't have to create it again. Just save you a little time.
Yeah.
And then they ask, okay, how many jurors do you want? In Florida, every civil trial is 6, but if you're in federal, you could change it to 12. And then however many alternates you want, that's going to create the jury box and the alternate box. And then you put in your plaintiff's name and how many peremptory challenges you get. And if you had another party, you could put them in and they might have a different attorney. You can share and collaborate with people, or you probably don't. Then you want to put the defendant in, who they are, how many peremptory challenges, defendant's lawyer's name. Now, this view only is kind of cool because I can have assistants be able to watch and not be able to add any data, which is okay. Or I can say, no, I need you to be taking notes and I want you to participate. And so now they're fully collaborating. And if you've got a jury consultant halfway around the world, they can sit here and join your network and see what you're seeing.
Oh, yeah.
They can send you notes. They can send you messages. They can participate as well. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome because we always talk on the podcast and all around Edge that we want to collaborate with other Edge lawyers. And sometimes you are in a jurisdiction that just doesn't have very many of them. And so if you want to bring in Amy Gibson and David Wiley to help with your, jury selection, you can just connect them right in or Elizabeth Lyric or somebody like that. So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that gives you that kind of power. Let me jump over here to case outlines. Outlines are your jury questions that you write in Word. And as long as you put a question mark at the end of it, then the computer knows that's one question. So don't, and you can put a whole paragraph in one if you want. And so what happens is you can have these generic voir dire pieces and you can move them around. And you can also say, you know what, I want to, there's one that's a little longer. And if you want, you can change the order of your questions. You can delete a question. You can edit a question. You can change it. So it gives you a lot of power. So if you wanted to type a new question, do you stop at stop signs in the middle of an ad?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. And so that one
Does
is
the app track responses to that as your trackers are collecting them, or would it just be the tracker making notes?
So here's the great thing. The presenter sees the seating chart and sees all their questions. And the one that he taps on is in a box. All your spotters see that question.
Oh, okay.
So they know exactly where you are. And the hand raise thing is a message to your spotters. Hey, Matt's going to say, raise your hand if you've done this, right? And there's a switch that they pop on. And then all they do is they go hand raise, hand raise, hand raise, and they mark them for you. Okay. So now when I ask the question, I can just look out and smile and, nod. Meanwhile, they're marking for me. And then I can go to my iPad and say, oh, Mrs. Smith, you raised your hand about, and it says what it is. So in the notes, the question where they raise their hand gets added, okay, and then their responses.
Okay, very cool. Well, that's great.
And so what we're trying to do is collect as much information as possible per juror. And there's a lot of things going on. Let me see the case outline. So that's case outline. Yeah.
It looks like you can save your questions, so your jury questions. So if you do a lot of car crash cases, you can call that back up. Is that
exactly
kind of assuming?
That's exactly right. In fact, if you go to like here where I have all my different cases, if you go to your jury selection outlines, okay, these are the outlines that you create, and you can rearrange them or insert them into your case.
Okay.
So let's see what we got here. So I want to add a new outline. Oh, that's how you create a new one. I'm not going to do that. So I could say I want this one and this one, and I'll import them into that case, and then I can move them around or do whatever I need to do. Well, it's not letting me do that right now. Okay. But that's how you can create it in Word, you import it by saving it like on a cloud, like Dropbox or Gmail, okay, and then you open it up and you add it. So this is an example of a juror. And let's say I want to add, well, this, I don't want to mess up this one. You can add seating sections as you need to. And what I'm going to do is, and notice there's 12. Well, this is set by the number of jurors that we're trying to seat and how many alternates we're seating. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to now I can add a new section. And the way you add a section is it's going to say, how many rows do you want? And how many seats per row?
Okay.
And you're done. And it creates it.
Oh, great.
And then you move it around to wherever you want. Seat numbering. So it's saying, do you want to start over? It knows we're up to like 65 or 60. So you say, hey, from the bottom left corner or the bottom right. So however you need to do it, you can tell it, and it numbers the seats for you. Now, some judges want you to do section numbers. And I probably need to do this on one that's blank. So I tell you what we'll do. Let's do a whole brand new case. And we're going to do civil, plaintiff, Matt. And once you use it, it keeps your information. So in it, KTI test case First day of trial. We're going to make it Monday. Name of the judge is Judge Keenan. Courtroom name is
Podcast.
Podcast. All right. Number of jurors. How many jurors do we want?
Let's do 12.
All right.
With 2 alternates.
All right. And who's the plaintiff?
Sarah Smith.
How many peremptory challenges is she going to get?
3.
Okay. And do you want me to add you on this one?
Sure.
All right. Do you happen to have an iPad right there that you can pop on right now?
Let me go get it. Everybody,
okay.
Just 30 seconds.
Go get it.
Let's see if I can do this. It's going to be real-time practice.
Yeah. Let's do this together. I think what I'm going to do is type in your email. Tell me what your email is when you're ready.
All right, I'm back. So,
all right, what is your email?
I'm nervous, everyone. I don't know if I can do this, and I'm going to look like this incompetent.
I'm as nervous as you are, Jen. I promise.
Okay, so I have my trusty iPad. I don't have the app though, so tell me how I get.
That's okay. We're gonna walk you through that in a second.
Okay.
What's your email?
Jenna at washinjurylaw.com.
See if you can open your email on your iPad, and if it gives you a link to take you right to the app.
All right. I don't have it yet.
Okay.
Close the app.
Oh, I typed your email in wrong.
Oh, phew. It happens. It happens all the time. What?
I put 2 O's in it. Let's try.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Wait. Thank you.
All right.
See if that works. Seeing it yet?
Not yet. Let me look in spam just to see if it went there. Nope. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
You got it? Okay.
Okay, let me just, so it says Honey Juror Support Team. All right, I'm going to click on it.
Yeah.
I've been given attorney access in a case.
Do you want to share your screen and let people see that?
Let me see if, I don't even, okay, hold on, let me think. Oh, I can, I have, let me go back upstairs and get my connector cord, my C to C. Hold on.
Okay. All right, while Jenna's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and put in a defendant, and we're going to put Goofy defendant. And they get 3 peremptory challenges as well. And their defense attorney is going to be Sam Sneed, the great golfer. All right. And you could enter another defendant or their defense attorneys, assistants, whatever you needed to do.
Okay, now we might need some help from Tim. I'm not totally sure.
If you just go to the share screen on Zoom, I think it'd be all right.
All right. I do know there's that. Okay, so let me see if this works. How do I make it show up on my computer so I can share screen? Matt, help me.
On the Zoom thing down at the bottom green center, share screen.
Yeah, but I don't know if that will work with my.
See if it won't. iPad as a choice.
Oh, I do. I see iPhone/iPad.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
There you go. And then you have to go to your iPad and you have to pull down in the corner and show 2 boxes, and you pick that means mirroring or sharing.
Okay, now I see Zoom is showing up on there. Okay. Oh,
Yay.
No, my email. Okay. All right, everyone, close your eyes.
Close your eyes, no problem.
So So I then go to KTI test case. I guess let's go to Chrome. Oh, chicken enchiladas. Look what I was making. Okay. Oh, I don't need you. It's not wanting to connect me. I go back to my email, choose this again, try Safari. Oh, it's not working.
Huh.
That's okay. We're testing it out.
Are you on the Wi-Fi? Yeah, okay. I see your Wi-Fi's on.
Right. Ooh. No.
No. Okay. I want you to go on your iPad to the App Store.
All right.
And I want you to join. It's called Test Flight.
App Store.
And by the way, this is how everybody that wants to be a beta tester can do this. You got to go through these steps. Right. You don't need an email from me. Test Flight. Yep. And install or hit the Get Test Flight in the top left corner.
All right.
All right. And now let me see. How do I get you to Honey Juror app?
Now, should I open it?
Let's go back to your, hit open it.
No, I don't want notifications. Okay. And then I'll continue.
And agree that you'll.
Ready to test.
All right.
Okay. So then, yeah, you have to invite me.
Yeah. So let's go back and click on that email and see if that works.
All right. Let me stop sharing for just a moment and I'll sign in here because it looks like it's telling me my sign in is out of date for some reason. I use my iPad to watch Netflix when I'm not doing trial work. So we haven't been in trial in a while. Aha. Oh, allow. Trying to open another application. Okay. Allow it.
All right. I just sent you something on the chat in Zoom. And that's the link. If somehow you can copy that onto your iPad, maybe you have Slack or something.
I don't have it.
Or you could retype it. I could read it to you.
All right. So let's see.
Maybe I can email that to you too.
Try that.
Once you're in Test Flight, I think you can type in Honey Juror and search for that.
All right. All right, folks, bear with us. This is what you got to go through when you're using technology in your case. And you usually only have to do it once.
Right.
Get through all of it, and then it works super great. But anybody who wants to test this out, please feel free to do it because it's going to help Matt a whole lot in his development of this app. And then it's going to help all of us so much in how we select juries. So, all right.
Okay, so now join Honey Juror now.
Okay.
The blue button, and type in your email and join.
All right.
There it is.
Okay.
Nice. All right. So open up the KTI test case. And now you're seeing what we just created together.
Perfect. Okay, great. Yes, I'm seeing it on my iPad, and I hope the folks at home are seeing it on their screen. And if you're listening and not looking at a screen, sorry, this part is going to be very boring for you. So hop on YouTube and watch us as we go through this together. Okay, what next, Matt?
All right, so let's go to jury and just move you over there a little bit.
Okay.
And let's type in new juror. Go ahead and put them in seat number 1.
One.
And then tab, and any number will work.
All right, let's put them as number 56.
Good. Give them a name.
Last name, Jordan. First name, Carrie.
Now, if your jury selection form says they're age 21, you can type in 21, or if they give you the year of birth, it works either way.
All right. Let's say they are 34.
Okay.
And we'll go female Indian.
Okay.
All right. And let's say pilot.
Good.
And that we'll say she doesn't have a mask. And
put it on, turn it on, see what it does.
Oh, see what it does. Oh yeah, nice.
Some people wear masks,
yep.
And I think that says something about who they are. So you can put masks on and off people easily. Oh. Now let's go to the add remove symbols for a second.
Okay.
So
okay.
This is going to be a library of little symbols that you can say, hey, they had law enforcement, or they have prior jury service, or they had a prior plaintiff's claim. Pick one of those.
Okay, let's do prior defendant.
See, so now you got a little title down there.
Okay.
You can add more. Now let's go down there and say, type something to add a new note.
Okay. And then just like something about
her passion in life is painting, and that says she's a creative person. And hit post. So it shows up there. Now let's type something else that, another note that says, I hate plaintiff's lawyers.
Okay.
Now I want you to highlight that and then mark it in yellow or red so that this is a cause challenge. She said something that would cause you to have cause. Select all and hit red.
I hit red. Okay.
Then hit post. Good. And so what happens is, as other spotters are adding information, you're going to have this longer narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now go to the top left corner and hit the back arrow. And so there's where you're starting your list. Now let's go to the C chart. And let's put in new section. And how many rows do you want it to be and whatever?
Let's do 2 rows of 7.
Okay, hit done.
Did I do it wrong?
That's okay. No, you didn't do it.
I may have put...
Oh, you know what? Zoom in on that.
Okay.
Yeah. And slide the jury box down and see if you can move it around. So
oh yeah. Okay. So let me move this.
So you can move it all around. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Now let's put in another section. Let's add another section.
All right.
So you're going to go.
How do I go back? Oh, maybe I type. Oh, there we go. So I was highlighted on this and I couldn't add new section. So if I just tap in the main area of the screen, I now have the option to add a new section.
Yeah.
Okay. And then let's do the gallery. Let's say it has 6 rows and there are going to be like 10 people per row.
Good. Slide that around to where you want it.
Okay.
And you can move the seats around any way you want.
All right. So, let's just have the alternates here, jury box there. And this right now, at least in my courtrooms, this is kind of who we're looking at over here, this box, as far as who might be.
So those are the main, okay. Yeah. So would your section 1 only have seats and section 2 not have seats, or
section
would they?
2 would have benches, but I think I might like the seats like that just because they would indicate to me each individual person, but I don't know.
So let me, where would juror number 1 sit in this courtroom that you've created?
Okay, so in my little section 1 here with the 2 rows, it would be the bottom right, number 1.
Okay, and then after you got to, what is that, 14 or 12?
Correct, yep. which would include.
Do you have seatings and numbers assigned in section 2?
They would all have their juror numbers, but not necessarily correspond with a numbered seat.
Okay, good. I get it. So they just get called up sort of randomly?
Yeah. And once you strike someone, so when the original 14 sit in what we call the box or whatever, they are your jury until you strike someone. And then somebody from the gallery comes in and fills the box, that kind of thing. So
to make it easy, we're going to assign numbers to first section 1. So let's go to section 1 is already highlighted. See, it's a little darker.
Yep.
And let's go to seat numbering.
Okay. Seat.
A little higher. Yeah. And say, so you want it from the bottom right?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
So click on that.
Perfect. Okay.
And it throws that juror in. Now, what's going to happen is in your gallery, you need a place for each one of them to sit.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put numbers in there now. And so click on the gallery and go to seat numbering.
Okay.
And you're going to start obviously at 15 and you can put them.
Let's do bottom right corner. It kind of changes, but for now.
That's good. Now, perfect. Now go back to the list view.
Wait, how do I do what? Oh, up here. Okay. List view. There you go.
Yeah. And now you could add a new juror. Or wait a second. Let's do it a little differently. Go back to the seat view.
Okay.
And
new juror. You can do right.
And you could add a new juror, but where do you want them to sit? Do you know where you're going to put them? You're going to put them in seat number 2?
Let's have them in seat number 11.
So tap on number 11 and add new juror.
Okay.
Now,
okay. It says seat number.
Now, unfortunately, the stuff we typed on the first one carried over, and that won't happen when we fix some of these things. But now you can fill in who's going to sit number 11.
Okay. So let's say this is juror number 17. It is Matthews, Paul, age 76. And we'll keep it white male, occupation retired.
Very good. Now let's go back to the seating by hitting the left arrow on the top.
Okay.
And see, there he is, number 11. Now, if you wanted to move him, you could put your finger on him and hold it for a little bit, and you'll notice it'll change a little. And then you can slide wherever the green lights up and you let go, it'll stay there. Let go. Boom. There you go.
So then if I look at him, he now is in seat number 9. Okay. Oh, that's perfect because, as I mentioned, in the way we do things, everybody kind of shuffles down and then a new person comes from the gallery over here. So we would need to move people within that box.
Exactly. So you could drag number, 62 into seat number 5.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. Okay.
All right. So let's go back to the case screen itself. And let's do case outlines. I don't know what you're going to see. So it's kind of up to the top.
Okay.
We haven't created anyone. So let's create a new outline right here. And just call it edge border. Or maybe, perfect.
Okay.
Hit okay. And type in your first question.
Okay. What is your favorite color?
Good. Put a question mark there. And then hit add. And then add another question. And good, hit add. All right, good. And you can move them around. You can add more, all kinds of cool stuff. So let's go back one arrow and look at, go to jury selection outlines up there. Again, I'm not sure what that's going to do. Okay, if we'd save some, they would show up. They're not.
I see. All right, so then you could say, all right, so let me just go back a little bit to put it all into perspective. You're here in your case, and you're like, okay, I need to put my word here outline together. I go up here and say case outlines. I could either create a new outline by clicking there, or I can go into my already saved jury selection outlines and choose medical malpractice or dog bite or whatever I've imported previously.
Employment, right.
Employment,
or DUI, criminal defense, whatever it is.
Okay.
Do me a favor, let's go back a little bit further and even go out of the case. I want to see how much. Okay. Hit jury selection outlines here. This is where you would create outlines that would be useful in every one of your cases.
Okay.
And you can move them around, change them around, and it allows you to, let's say you've got 9 outlines, you've got a beginning, you've got one about slip and falls, and then you have a conclusion. You pick those 3 and you import them, and then you modify them.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go back to the case.
Okay. It isn't showing me the case anymore.
Oh, it didn't show the case anymore.
What's this? No, cancel.
Let's tell you what, let's log out and log you back in and see if we can find it.
Log out, sure. Okay.
Oh, all right. I'm going to send it to you again.
Okay. Wants to open. So as I'm going right from my email, you have to choose a browser, and then it will ask the browser.
Safari.
Will ask to open.
Safari's easier for Apple.
Oh, good. That's a good point.
There you are. Okay, You're back. And let's go to the jury button.
Okay.
And there's your 2 jurors. Let's go to your seating chart.
Yeah, it's all still there.
All right, good. So
is that something that I can fix on my end as far as making sure the case remains there? Or is that something with the alpha that you kind of need to work on your end?
I found out that it was because I didn't save it on my end. I shared it with you. And to save your case, all you have to do is click on the jury button on the top right corner. And now that I've done that, yeah, right there, that saves it for you.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go to the seating chart. And on the right, see where it says start questions?
Yes.
Click on that. Now tap on Edge VD. And there are your questions. Okay. And if you had right now, if I'm a spotter, I can see on my screen, what is your favorite color is what you're looking at.
Okay.
And then you can hold your finger on that one a little longer or double tap it. See, and it draws a line through it. So that reminds you that you've already asked that question and you're moving on.
Okay.
And you can double tap it and undo it if you want. But let's say you've got 50 questions. Sometimes jurors will answer a question that's farther down on your list, and you can jump to it and keep going, and then you can mark it done. And then when you get to it, you won't accidentally do that again.
Okay. So if I say done question, then that means we're done with questioning altogether.
Yeah, you can. It's like a switch, and it's going to turn on and off your ability to see these screens and see your questions. So if you're a defense lawyer, you may have created a bunch of questions and you're watching the plaintiff go through it, and you may start editing your list and taking them off and stuff like that.
Okay. What are these other options down here? Messages and blank screen.
Okay, hit blank screen. So you take a break and the defense lawyer is walking behind your chair, you hit blank screen and they can't see what you got.
Oh, that's crafty.
Yeah. So let's hit, let me see what I can do. I'm going to hit messages and I'm going to say, I send you a message, click on the message button. Oh, type in a message and you can send it to me.
Oh, it says messaging unavailable. Do I have to have a certain permission possibly?
Yeah, maybe. we'll figure that out.
Okay, good to know. That's good to know. So then you would type here and it would, and then send, obviously this is the send button over here, that little paper airplane, and
Exactly.
you would receive it. That's fantastic. It's so funny because the way we've been doing it is we have an Excel spreadsheet in Google Docs and we have a Word document in Google Docs, and we, our paralegal comes and it's me and Youngji, and everybody has their color font and we're all frantically typing, and then there's a section of messages. So I'm pleased to see that, because especially, we want to make sure we talk to as many jurors as possible. And let's say, for example, juror number 12 hasn't gotten much time. Youngji might send me a message and say, spend more time with juror number 12 or something like that. And that can be very helpful. And it's not super distracting. It's, if that pops up on your screen and then you just kind of like, juror number 12. We haven't heard much from you, share with us more about this or whatever, however you, in your authentic way, address someone you haven't spent a lot of time with. So very cool.
Yeah. So that's the idea, is that this is designed so that you can collaborate with your team. Everyone's collecting information. The hand raise feature we'll talk about on another day, where, the spotters just mark it. I even have a half a hand. How some people are sort of pensive.
Yeah, they do this. Or they're like, not sure.
Yeah, so you got the half a hand. Hey, you kind of raised your hand, Mrs. Smith, and I just want to know why. What made you think about it? Nice. So the idea is I've tried to build an app that allows you to absorb as much information as you can, keep track of it, and then let me share my screen, and I'm going to show you how to use this once you get jury selection going. Okay.
Right.
You've sat there and you've asked questions, and you've asked your questions, the defense has asked their questions, and now it comes time for picking the jury. So, we got 1, 2, 3, you've added these colors, you've got your codes, everyone's kind of thinking about who you like and who you don't like. And so the first thing he goes, well, do you have anybody for cause? And you say, Judge, juror number 22 said something that I didn't like, and so I move for cause. And the court goes, you know what? Cause is granted. You're right. She can't be fair. So she comes off your panel.
And there's a C there, so that it's cause.
Exactly.
I'm assuming a P will come up for peremptory.
So then it comes up for peremptory challenge, right? And I go, I'm going to use a plaintiff. All right. Peremptory challenge, Jeff Ross, P3. It's not giving it to me. I may have used them all up. Hold on a second. There it is. Defendant. So that's how the defendant did one, right?
Okay.
So let's say that the defendant moved for peremptory, but it was denied.
Okay.
Or they moved for cause. I'm sorry. They moved for cause. They said, Judge, we don't think Mr. Donald can be fair because he, works for Jenna's law firm. And the court's like, no, he's fine. So that they're going to use one of their peremptories on this guy. So you've left that little memory thing for you. So you don't, for some reason, use your peremptory on one that they're definitely going to do that. So that's why I wanted to build that tool in.
Okay.
Let's say you move for peremptory on this guy, and the court said no. And you saw cause. Mm-hmm. And the judge says no, and then you've used up all your peremptories, you're out. You could say, hey, Judge, I asked you to use this cause on Mr. Bain. He's still on the panel. I'm going to ask you to give me another peremptory. And the court in Florida may say, yes, you get another one. So boom, you can knock them off. And that reminds you of the people you sought cause, but the court denied it.
Okay. All right. Awesome. I mean, that's all very, very well thought out. All the things that we all see and think about while we're doing jury selection. Very cool.
Yeah, it's like how, wow. And then what happens is you move the people into your jury box. And during trial, what you can do is your spotters still keeping notes. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, in the last trial that I used this, the night before my closing, I went and I looked at every single sentence that every one of them said. And I pulled out one memorable thing from each one, and I weaved it into my closing.
Oh, wow.
So when I'm closing, I'm hearkening back to what they said and connecting with them on a deep, deep level. Mm-hmm. So I think this is one of the additional kind of powers that this app offers you.
Awesome. Well, that's very exciting. Thank you very much, Matt, for walking us through this, for developing for us. And thank you to the audience for bearing with us as we kind of walked through how we can partner with each other. And this is a great example. I mean, I'm in Washington State. Matt is in Florida. We're working on a case together. If he was in trial right now and he's like, hey, Jenna, do you mind hopping on and making some notes about what's going on, or looking at the notes that my staff is writing and giving me any insight that you might have, is the great collaborative way to do that. Matt, it sounds like people, everybody saw me jump in and be able to do it on my iPad. Are you wanting others to use this in trial now in its current form and kind of give you feedback? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I do. I would like people to use the app, and there's two ways we can do it. The first 100 people that want to do it, we're going to just like open it up and let you do it. I think we're either going to put it in the show notes of how to do it for the first 100 people and or a link, and then knock it around and try it. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to come back to the show notes like in a couple days, and I'll put a message in there and tell you what email you can send a request to and say, hey, I saw you on YouTube and I want to try out your Juror app. And then we'll email you the test flight link. You have to download that, and then you can download Honey Juror, and then you can play around with it. And I'll leave a place where you can leave feedback if you have questions and problems with it or ideas.
Perfect. And folks, get on this kind of early, right? Because if you do not want the morning of trial, you're trying to figure this out and you're like, Matt, this is not working or that's not working. Don't do that. Do it now. If you've got trial in a couple of months and you want to use it and test it out, as Papa Don has always told us, be the woodpecker, have a plan B, C, D, E. And so, try to use this. Make sure you got a plan B just in case for whatever reason it doesn't work. But it would be great help to Matt as he's developing it, and a great help to the entire community as we kind of continue this development, get it into the beta phase, and then final production eventually if we have more and more people using it. So I've got a trial possibly coming up in September. Hopefully not, but maybe it will happen. And I'm going to try to see if we can put this to some good use as well. So
let me give you a couple hints. Yeah. You want to make sure your Wi-Fi is really stable. That's important. It's all in the cloud. Yep. So you might need to bring your personal hotspot. And two, go down to the courthouse with your iPad and find somebody who's going to try a case and say, hey, can I sit next to you and help and just do it? And that's where you're going to cut your teeth on it. You're not going to sweat so bad because it's not your case and you're only helping them. You're not going to hurt them. You're not, they're going to do what they were going to do anyway. But all you say is, let me see the juror things. Let me see this. Let me see that. Mm-hmm. And that's how you're going to get some real good experience. And you'll see how easy it is to use. And I highly recommend, a nice keyboard because you can type a lot faster. And let me tell you what I hope we can do one day, and that is connect with our court reporters and literally have the live stream of the transcript going into Honey Juror and assigned to the specific jurors. So when you say, Judge, this is what they said, here's the court reporter's transcript, and you're quoting it verbatim, and there's no embellishment by the lawyer, I think that adds a lot of credibility.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Those are all very, very good tips. In Washington, or at least in King County, I should say, our judges have the transcript rolling in front of them. And so they can pause it and go back. And if there's any, and that would be just great for us to have. So Thank you for your time in developing this, Matt, and thank you for being here today and talking to us about it and helping me get started. If any of you guys out there want to work on this, Matt is always available. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll put his contact information below. Thank you to those who joined us this week for Fridays with Keenan's Cutting Edge Live. If you like today's episode, please click the thumbs up to feed the YouTube algorithm. Let them know that you think this information and content is interesting and useful. Don't forget to sign up for alerts and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Next week, we're going to have another replay of a previously aired popular episode. As you all know by now, during the summer months, everybody's on vacation and doing different things. And so sometimes we have a few weeks of replays instead of live episodes. But we do have a great lineup for you towards the end of the summer into the fall. So I'm very excited about all of that. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you next time.